Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, first of all, start off with saying I'm at home today. I've never filmed at home. To be quite honest, I've only filmed 4 videos, but I've never been able to film at home because I'm Somali and my house is quite loud as usual. But today I woke up pretty early and everyone's still asleep, so I hope I won't get interrupted. But if I do, apologies. Okay, so today's video is based around studying, university and all that jazz. I actually got a request, so I'm taking requests on my Ask FM on what videos to do because I'm still fairly new on YouTube, and I kind of want to help and find out what you guys need tips on so I can try find out if I don't know myself and give advice on. So I've been taking requests on Ask FM and I'll put that in the description box. So I got a question saying, "Hey Sadia, I wanted to ask if you could please do a video on how you personally used to study. Like tips on the best way to study or revise. I'm at university, I would love to hear that." So, and she also said please do more videos. So I've basically vowed to do 1 video a week on Twitter, because I feel like if I say it on Twitter then I'll force myself to do it. So inshallah I'll continue to do 1 video a week. So you're going to notice when I mention in this video I'm a note taker. I've got my notepad. Thank God you can't see the writing because it's blurred out, but I'm kind of messy when I take notes. Revision tips. So I finished university about 2 years ago, and before that, all my life, come on, books, 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 books. The way I revise, the first and most important thing for me, it might not be for everyone, but I would advise you to do, is to get organised. So what I personally used to do is I used to find out what I need to do for that entire year. So break down my subjects, and then break down the subjects, find out how many assignments I have, how many exams I have, when I have them, even though the teacher's like, we don't know, from May till June, but still write that down so you can visually know what's coming. If I'm mentally organised, so if I know what's coming, what's expected of me, I have less stress and I feel like it's more manageable. So I'd advise everyone to do that. So write down all the subjects you need to do. As you get older, subjects get less, so the better. So just go to your teachers. If they don't give you at university, I remember they give us module guides which has every explanation of everything you need to do, but if they don't, the teachers know. So go sit down with your teacher with a pen and paper and ask questions. If you feel that you have a routine way of studying, like when I say studying I mean revision, textbook, and you feel like it's not working for you or it takes too long, try other ways. Go online. People have different tricks and techniques. I think it was like 2nd year of A-level which I figured out the best technique for me. I kind of had it in the beginning of A-level and GCSE but not to the T, but now I have a system. My system is, for example, you have a textbook. This is textbook studying and you've got chapters, right, that you need to complete. If I handle it, it depends how big the chapter is, but I handle it a section at a time, so a chapter at a time, and I will read this chapter till I understand it. Not memorize. Do not memorize. Understand. And the way that I test that I understand is I'll close the textbook and I'll literally explain it to myself. Basically talk to yourself. So I would literally sit there and be like, so and so, so and so, like literally like you're teaching someone else, but it's yourself. You're explaining it in detail. And if you get stuck or stop halfway or get confused, that means you don't know that chapter. Go back, learn it again, or go through that section again and then explain it to yourself again until you can explain it to yourself well enough that you believe you know it. That's when you stop. And then what I usually do is, that's why I didn't say memorize. Don't try repeat what the textbook says. Understand. There's a difference. Understanding means you remember. And then in terms of what I usually do is I use cue cards. I'm a big fan of cue cards, and what I put on the cue cards is enough that you can kind of glance at. So don't put too much writing on it because it defeats the purpose. You might as well look back at your textbook. Cue cards, I literally just used to put keywords, key points. Sometimes if you have definitions that you need to remember, or if you have like diagrams or things like that that can jog your memory or anything like that, I put that on the cue cards. And then I'd look back at that, and I used to highlight my textbooks. So don't highlight the textbooks that school's giving you, but if you buy a textbook, I highlight the important parts. And one thing that I would say that I used to do when I was little, and it's not great, is don't over highlight. Because if you highlight everything, then it defeats the purpose. You can't glance back. You'll be like, whoa, I have to glance back at everything I highlighted. You might as well read the entire chapter. Highlight the points which link to your cue notes, which also link to the main parts that you need to remember. Like if you remember that highlighted section, you'll be reminded of the entire chapter kind of thing. So it needs to be like to jog your memory, because if you've got this information in there properly and you understood it, you just need to jog your memory. And the highlighted parts and the cue cards are good for just before your exam or week before exam, or just kind of refresh. This is a personal question that I got. So it says, I wanted to ask some career school related advice. So I'm graduating this year and I've spent 5 years on a degree I have no interest in whatsoever. I kept with it all along, hoping things would get better, and mostly being afraid of being a failure, when in reality I should have checked out in my first year. I have issues with doing what others, brackets family, expect of me, and I'm working to fix it. So any advice on ways to move forward from here? I really have no idea what my interests are. So that's actually a really common thing. So I would first of all like to say to you, the first thing is breathe. Those 5 years that you've spent studying, don't look at it and regret it, because any education, any knowledge that you can give your mind is priceless. So I would say kind of that final year, completely focus and give it everything that you have and get the best grade that you want and you'd be proud of. And also, I don't know what specific degree you're studying, but maybe once you've graduated and you finished it, you will have this growing love for it, if that makes sense. And also you'll see what you've learned from it and how it's developed you and how you've grown. There's so many things that I've done in the past that I might at that moment think, I wish I had studied something else, I wish I'd done something else, but once you pass that time you appreciate that you've done it because it helps you grow and get to the moment that you've gotten to. And the second thing to calm you down is that nowadays you could study maths but get into an artistic role at work. Majority of people are getting into marketing jobs that have English degrees. I would say do some research, find out what you're interested in, and when you say I don't know what I'm interested in, check out characteristics about yourself. What do you enjoy doing? It could be little things. Do you enjoy to read? Do you enjoy numbers? Do you like being artistic? Do you feel like you're creative? Creative doesn't have to be drawing, designing, singing, dancing. Creative can be with the way you think. Do you think creatively? Do you come up with things that other people don't think of? Are you the type of person when you're in a group or even in university, you're the ones that you think outside the box? That's creative. Do you enjoy being creative? Do you like that part of it? Are you more of a organized numbers person? Do you feel like maybe you'd be good in finance or accounting? I just feel like just write down those little things that you feel like you might be great at, even though you think it's not relevant. Write it down. And I've noticed with job interviews, you can literally turn it around. You know how when you did your UCAS, it's a personal statement, and you've somehow found a way to make those A-levels sound perfect for the one degree that you chose? That's how you can do it with your degree to the job role. I think someone's still got. Hey mama. But I hope I've answered your question, because when I read this I really wanted to help in any way that I could, so I really hope that I answered your question. If I didn't, you mentioned on Ask FM that you're going to ask me some more questions, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so that's the end of the video. I hope I've covered everything you guys wanted to hear. I'd like to say those are tips on what I've personally done for studying. If you guys want to kind of find out different ways, I'm sure they're online, so do some research. And also, as I mentioned in the video, I'm taking requests on what videos to do on, and just questions in general on my Ask FM, because it's anonymous. You can ask questions without kind of revealing who you are, so I feel like a lot of people want to do that, so I put my Ask FM on my description. Until next week, or I should say next year, I'll see you guys. Assalamu alaikum. Remember, it all starts with an idea. Mother, I'm finished.